Russian President Vladimir Putin called yesterday's Crimea bridge attack an act of terrorism. He said his country's defense ministry was planning a response. He further added that the attack was senseless because the Russian army had not used the bridge in months. Russia claims that Ukraine was responsible for the attack on the bridge. Ukraine, however, has not taken responsibility. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky called for the resumption of the Black Sea grain deal. He wrote to Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan for his support. He also reached out to the UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres. On Monday, Russia halted the UN-brokered grain deal. The deal allowed grain to be exported from Ukraine to other countries via the Black Sea. Meanwhile, the UN Security Council also urged Russia to resume the Black Sea grain deal. The US has blamed Russia for weaponizing food. Foreign ministers from Poland, Germany and Ukraine condemned Russia's termination of the grain deal. Russia says it will resume the deal if its demands are met. The UN's World Food Programme is slashing food aid for the Caribbean nation of Haiti. This is due to a shortage of funds. At least 100,000 Haitian people will be impacted. The UN body said that the slash in aid comes when a record 5 million Haiti residents are unable to fulfill their food needs. South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol said his country will form a nuclear grouping with the US. Yoon said this would be done to build a strong deterrence against North Korea. The group will be called the Nuclear Consultative Group, or NCG. The first meeting will be held later today. European Union lawmakers welcomed leaders from Latin America and Caribbean nations in Belgium's capital, Brussels. They're attending a summit to boost ties between the EU and the communities from Latin America and the Caribbean. At least 50 leaders are taking part in the summit. The congregation is aimed at increasing trade and cooperation between the participating nations. Palestinians took to the streets of Jenin city in the occupied West Bank. They protested the arrest of 5 people by Palestine forces. The Palestinian police claimed the suspects were arrested for allegedly being members of a militant group. They further said that the detainees allegedly belong to a militant group called Islamic Jihad. Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan met Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman in the city of Jeddah on Monday. The two leaders discussed trade and investment possibilities in Turkey. Erdogan's visit to Saudi Arabia comes just 2 months after his re-election in May. With this trip, he hopes to secure foreign investment as Turkey is witnessing chronic inflation and a weakening currency. Election campaigns have resumed in the Central American nation of Guatemala. Presidential candidates Bernardo Arevalo and Sandra Torres both held rallies. Guatemala's presidential elections were scrutinized by voters after the first round. They claimed that parties took part in voter fraud and illegal practices. Earlier this month, Guatemala's Supreme Court called for fresh runoff elections. Guatemalans will now vote in the runoff on the 20th of August. Trial data has shown that an experimental drug by pharma company Eli Lilly slowed the progression of Alzheimer's by 60%. This is specific to patients in the early stages of the disease. The drug slows cognitive decline by nearly twice the rate reported in May. Findings show that early detection and diagnoses can change the trajectory of Alzheimer's. Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida met the UAE's President Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan in Abu Dhabi on Monday. They signed several agreements covering business and green technology. Kishida also discussed Japan's role at the COP28 climate summit, which will be hosted by the UAE in November. The two countries vowed to move towards net zero carbon emissions by 2050. Which brings us to climate news. Typhoon Talim has become the first typhoon to make landfall in China this year. It has brought heavy rains and strong winds to China's Zhangjiang city and surrounding areas. The typhoon has prompted authorities to issue flood warnings and cancel flights and trains. Local residents have also been ordered to stay at home. China's meteorological department renewed its orange alert, which is the second highest alert level. Recovery work continues in South Korea after heavy rain hammered the country. More than 40 people have lost their lives in less than a week. Meanwhile, President Yoon Suk-yeol has called for an overhaul of the country's disaster response system. He has urged officials to mobilize all available resources for restoration work. Temperatures in the US city of Phoenix have crossed 45 degrees Celsius. The prolonged bout of extreme heat is testing people and worrying officials. The international charitable organization, the Salvation Army, has opened up 11 cooling centers. It has also sent out a mobile unit to deliver relief to homeless people. Hazy skies blanketed cities across the US on Monday. This comes as smoke continues to flow south from wildfires in the US and several Canadian provinces. The National Weather Services warned of poor air quality for both Monday and early Tuesday in some parts of the country. One of the places suffering greatly from the smoke are the hills of Riverside County in Southern California in the US. The local fire department is battling at least 4 wildfires in the region. As of Monday morning, over 3,000 hectares of land have already been burnt. Meanwhile, authorities in Canada's British Columbia have requested help from the country's armed forces. They've also asked for an additional 1,000 international firefighters. Blazes have burnt 1.2 million hectares of forest in the province so far this year. This is far above the 10-year average of 76,000 hectares. A forest fire also spread in the villages of southern Switzerland. Swiss police have ordered the evacuation of several mountain villages in the region. About 200 firefighters, army personnel, police officers and other partners are working to douse the flames. Some helicopters have also been deployed to bring the fire under control. Wildfires also raged through the coastal towns near Athens in Greece. The blaze broke out southeast of the Greek capital. This has forced residents to flee their homes. Police have helped evacuate more than 100 citizens in the area. Dozens of horses were also evacuated in trucks as the flames reached stables in nearby localities. Planet Earth is reeling under extreme weather as global temperatures are soaring to historic highs. Torrential rains have also swamped several cities across the globe. Meanwhile, the world's 2 biggest carbon emitters, the United States and China, have sought to reignite talks on climate change. In business news, World Bank chief Ajay Banga has said that the world economy is in a difficult place. However, he added that it is not destined to be there. He made these remarks on the sidelines of a G20 meeting in the Indian state of Gujarat. Last month, the World Bank cut its 2024 global economic growth forecast from 2.7% to 2.4%. Financial firm Goldman Sachs has said that it's cutting the probability of a US recession in the next 12 months. The company has lowered its recession forecast to 20% from an earlier 25%. A chief economist from the firm said that the main reason for the cut is recent economic data. He added the numbers have reinforced confidence that the US central bank's actions will not lead to a recession. US chip company executives have met with top officials from the Biden administration. This included executives from companies like Intel, Nvidia, and Qualcomm. They discussed the American policy on China with regards to the recent trade controls. The group has urged for a halt to more curbs under consideration. Brian Armstrong, the CEO of cryptocurrency firm Coinbase, will meet US lawmakers on Wednesday. In the meeting, Armstrong plans to discuss the future of digital asset legislation. He also plans to touch upon issues such as tax, national security, privacy, and climate. The meeting comes as Coinbase faces a lawsuit in the US for failing to register its operations with the country's markets regulator. US automaker Ford has ramped up its price war with rival Tesla. It has slashed the cost of its Lightning pickup truck by up to 17% in some models. With the move, the automaker hopes to increase its share in the electric vehicle market dominated by Tesla. Directors at electric vehicle maker Tesla will return $735 million to the company. This is to settle shareholder claims that the directors excessively overpaid themselves. The settlement will put an end to a lawsuit filed in 2020. Separately, CEO Elon Musk is also under scrutiny for his $56 billion compensation package. A lawsuit over Musk's pay package went to trial last year. Telecom company AT&T's shares fell nearly 7% on Monday. The share prices hit their lowest level in 30 years. This was after analysts downgraded the stock following a news report. According to reports, AT&T left toxic lead cables buried across the US for years. A huge number of them possibly contaminated nearby soil and drinking water sources. US-based packaging company FedEx has appointed John Dietrich as its new Chief Financial Officer. His appointment will be effective from August 1st. Dietrich is a veteran in the aviation and air cargo space and has held numerous leadership roles earlier. He will succeed Michael Lenz. Lenz will serve as a senior advisor until the end of this year. Twitter rival Blue Sky has come under fire as users threaten to leave the platform. Many users are frustrated that the company hasn't apologized for allowing racial slurs to slip through its moderation tools. This is even though they violate its community guidelines. Blue Sky is also facing flack for removing numerous racist and transphobic slurs from its list of flagged words in an update last week. India's second-largest software services provider, Infosys, has signed a 5-year artificial intelligence deal. Under the deal, one of its existing clients will provide the company with AI and automation services. Infosys has a target to spend about $2 billion on the project. Moving to sports, in cricket, England pacer James Anderson has been recalled for the 4th Ashes Test. The 40-year-old had been rested for the 3rd Test match. Anderson will replace all-rounder Ollie Robinson. The 4th Test begins on Wednesday. It will be played at the Old Trafford Cricket Ground. Australia lead the Ashes series 2-1. The West Indies have called up uncapped Kevin Sinclair for the 2nd Test match against India. 23-year-old Sinclair is an off-spin bowler. He will replace all-rounder Raymond Reifer. The West Indies will play India in the 2nd Test match on Thursday. India lead the 2-match series 1-0. Indian batter KL Rahul has resumed batting practice at the nets. He's looking to make a comeback to the Indian squad before this year's Cricket Asia Cup. Rahul had suffered a thigh injury during this year's IPL tournament. The Asia Cup begins on the 31st of August and will be co-hosted by Pakistan and Sri Lanka. In football, Mexico beat Panama 1-0 to clinch the CONCACAF Gold Cup 2023. The final was played at the SoFi Stadium in the US city of Los Angeles. The match remained scoreless in the first half. In the second half, Mexico's Santiago Gimenez scored in the 88th minute to seal the win. With the win, Mexico lifted the CONCACAF Gold Cup for a record 9th time. Eden Park Stadium in New Zealand's capital Auckland will host the opening match of this year's FIFA Women's World Cup. Co-hosts New Zealand will take on Norway in the opener on Thursday. A total of 9 matches will be played at the Eden Park Stadium. Meanwhile, co-hosts Australia will also play their opener on Thursday. They will play against Ireland at Sydney's Stadium Australia. La Liga club FC Barcelona unveiled their new midfielder Ilkay Gundogan. He will also take charge as the mentor for Barca's youth squad. The 32-year-old joined Barcelona on a free transfer from the English club Manchester City. Gundogan was the captain when Man City clinched their first ever treble last season. English club West Ham United are eyeing Manchester United defender Harry Maguire. They're exploring options of signing him on a loan or on a permanent deal. Last week, West Ham was unable to negotiate terms for a contract with Maguire, but they're still pursuing the Englishman. On Monday, Maguire was stripped of the Manchester United captaincy. After the decision, Maguire said he was extremely disappointed. His contract with Manchester United is till 2025. In tennis, Novak Djokovic has been fined $8,000 for smashing his racket during the Wimbledon final. The incident happened during the 5th set of the match. After losing a serve to his opponent Carlos Alcaraz, Djokovic smashed the racket on the net. The fine will be deducted from his runner-up cash prize of $1.5 million. Serbia's Djokovic lost the final to Spain's Alcaraz. Indian tennis veteran Rohan Bopanna climbed to the world number 7 spot in the men's doubles rankings. This was after Bopanna and his Australian partner Matthew Ebden reached the semi-final at Wimbledon 2023. The 43-year-old Indian was ranked 19th at the start of the season. World number 7 is now Bopanna's best rank since October 2013. In golf, Rory McIlroy won the Scottish Open in a thriller. The tournament was played at Scotland's iconic Renaissance Club. After missing an 8-foot putt on hole 16, the Irishman shot 2 birdies on the next 2 holes to lift the trophy. This was McIlroy's 24th title and his first win in Scotland. In entertainment news, actor Cillian Murphy recently opened up about his process to prepare for the movie Oppenheimer. Murphy said that he read the Hindu holy text, the Bhagavad Gita, to prepare for the role. Murphy plays the role of J. Robert Oppenheimer, who is regarded as the father of the atom bomb. Oppenheimer was also a student of Sanskrit. He famously said that he thought of a quote from the Gita in the immediate aftermath of testing the world's first atomic bomb in 1945. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 actor Simon Pegg has supported the use of artificial intelligence in Hollywood. He said that AI could prevent mediocrity in Hollywood. He added that threats posed by advancing AI could cause writers and directors to up their game. Pegg said he also believes that AI lacks the imagination and emotions necessary for creating high-quality cinema. Actor Mark Ruffalo voiced his support for the Hollywood writers' strike. He urged actors and writers to cut out Hollywood's quote-unquote fat cats by making independent films and shows. Some of the biggest actors, including George Clooney, Susan Sarandon, and Jason Sudeikis, have supported the strike. Actor Nicolas Cage will not be attending the Fantasia Film Festival following the strike called by the Hollywood Actors Union SAG-AFTRA. The festival will be held in Canada's Montreal on July 22nd. Cage was scheduled to receive Fantasia's Cheval Noir Career Achievement Award. Singer Ariana Grande and her husband Dalton Gomez have reportedly parted ways 2 years after their marriage. The two started having issues before Grande began filming for the movie Wicked. Grande was photographed at the Wimbledon men's singles final without her wedding ring. Reports say that the two decided to end their relationship in January and are heading for a divorce. Gomez and Grande started dating in 2020. They got married in May 2021 in a private ceremony. Actors Sofia Vergara and Joe Manganiello have also decided to end their 7-year-long marriage. Reports say that the duo opened up about divorce, calling it a difficult decision. Vergara and Manganiello got married in Florida's Palm Beach in November 2015. Vergara is a Colombian-American actor famous for playing the role of Gloria Delgado Pritchard in the hit sitcom Modern Family. Actor Lindsay Lohan has given birth to her first child, a boy. She welcomed her son Luai with her husband Bader Shammas in Dubai. Lohan announced her pregnancy in March this year. She got married to Shammas last year. Lohan is famous for her roles in movies including Mean Girls, The Parent Trap and Freaky Friday. Veteran actor Helen Mirren's movie Golda is set to hit theatres in India on September 1st. The movie is based on the life of Israel's fourth and only woman Prime Minister, Golda Meir. She was also known as the Iron Lady of Israel. The movie focuses on controversial decisions that Meir took during her time in office. Madame Tussauds is set to unveil singer Harry Styles' 7 wax statues. The statues will be unveiled in 7 different cities, including London, Berlin, New York, Amsterdam, Singapore and Sydney. The singer made his Madame Tussauds debut nearly a decade ago with his former bandmates from One Direction, Niall Horan, Liam Payne, Louis Tomlinson and Zayn Malik. The famous black sheep sweater worn by the late Princess Diana is headed for an auction. The price is estimated at around $80,000. Diana first wore the sweater to watch King Charles play a polo game in June 1981.